Welcome to the Couch Co-op Podcast, the ultimate destination for gamers who love to grab a controller, chill on the couch, and share some epic gaming moments. Tonight, we've got an electrifying lineup of topics that'll have you reaching for that extra life. But first, let's raise our virtual glasses as our resident beer aficionado, Lord Beerstro, takes the stage. Get ready to hear his latest recommendations for the brews that will level up your gaming experience. And now it's time to jump into the heart of the console wars with our feature topic, the PlayStation First Party Fracas. We'll be dissecting the latest exclusives, debating the merits of each franchise, and determining which first-party games reign supreme. So grab your favorite gaming snack, settle onto the coziest spot on the couch, and get ready for a podcast episode that'll leave you pressing continue for more. The Couch Co-op Podcast starts now.
Yeah.
Woo! Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, the greatest and only video game and beer podcast in the world. Find us on social media platforms at Couch Co-op Shows.
No hyphen.
I was hoping someone would say it.
All one word, no hyphen.
There we are. You can find our podcast on all major platforms. If you want to watch us, head over to youtube.com/MilkmanPictures. We also stream our show live every Saturday night or Sunday night at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, like we are right now on twitch.tv/The Couch Co-op Show. If you ever wanted to drop in and chat and be a part of the show, we welcome you to do so. I'm Ian, and I have Jared, Nick, Dave, Aaron, and JPK on the couch tonight. How is everybody doing?
Doing good.
Good.
Good to be back.
Woot woot. Yeah,
Good as
Jared was gone last week.
That's right.
Yeah.
Busy times.
Busy times indeed.
Mm-hmm.
Has anyone... Well, I know Jared has. Jared gets the... So we've started this new thing with John, which I think is super cool, where John does a cold open. He does a tease of the show. How do you think that... What do you think that's... Do you think that's cool? I think that's pretty cool, right, Jared? Like, he does the cold open, and then it goes right into the open? What do you think?
Yeah,
Jared?
yeah, it works real well, but I'd recommend keeping it a minute and under.
Oh, John, you gotta
Last
Jared...
week, man, that kept on rolling and rolling and rolling.
This one was good. This week's good. This one's like nice and concise.
This was a solid
This one was quick.
cold open.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Mm-hmm.
Just get a little cock tease, you know, get them going.
Other one was a lukewarm.
Anyway, I recommend if you guys haven't heard the show with the cold open, give it, at least listen to the beginning of it just to check it out. I think I love the way like John's energy and ramps it up, and then you like go right into the open, and it's like do 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 do. It's just like it just sounds like that's a professional show right there. That's the most professional the show's ever gonna sound. Anyway, man, we have a lot of exciting things to do tonight. But first, let's head over to our resident beer expert, the Lord Beerstro. What's happening tonight? What was last week's champion was the Waldo. The fresh
Waldo.
The fresh, as I put it, the fresh Waldo. I put it in the I don't know if anyone else, I didn't really check in on that. I should have checked on that what the voting was, but I put it fresh Waldo versus aged Waldo. And so what's
I mean, you probably could have just put the years too. But...
I'm not going to I don't want to deal with
Right.
that.
That's like more work and stuff.
That
and you'd have to
information was
remember
not
things.
given to me. I'm not going to. That's too much work.
No.
So, what's going up against the fresh Waldo?
90-minute IPA is going to take up the.
Oh yeah,
Challenge.
dogfish
Oh
head.
man, that's gonna be a challenge.
It's going to be a challenge for me to actually finish the show.
Nick
But-
trying to kill himself every night here on the Couch Co-op Show.
For your
Once a week.
entertainment. Well, I mean, John with his cold open
Once a week,
makes
Dad.
my makes my segment a little bit more important than I felt it was. But
Well,
so now the pressure's
Right.
on.
That's the point of it. That's the whole point.
Cold open, intro, cold beer. We're good.
Mhm. And then at the end of the show, cold body. Mm.
Which one are you starting off with?
Well,
You
the cold out.
gonna start off with the Dogfish Head tonight?
Yeah, I am, and I'm still like wondering, like, should the challenger always start off first, because there's always the whole like, how fresh is your palate and your taste buds, and how much are they going to be affected when you come around to the second beer?
I would say start
So,
with the
yeah.
Challenger, so we can get you can pop it, drink it right now, and tell us a little bit about it, because we already know your thoughts for the most part on the Waldo.
Yeah,
So like maybe pop it
right.
and start drinking it right now, and then like kind of tell us about it.
I love how Nick only thinks about his segment once the podcast is rolling.
That's called professionalism.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what do you mean?
John's got a
John.
place to be. John's got to go to bed. He's got to go make some sweet love right now.
I don't know.
You're like cutting into his bedtime.
When I'm listening to podcasts, I kind of like hearing
Gabby.
people like talk about what's going on and how it works and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I
like-
find that kind
like
of stuff
just
interesting.
Pulling the curtain back a little bit.
Yeah.
Seeing how
Yeah,
the
just-
hot dog is made.
The sausage, I
Yeah.
believe.
Mm.
I mean, we're a bunch of professionals here, so
Oh,
you
you're
know,
hard-
we gotta
hardcore.
have things perfect.
Well, I mean, I've
Right.
thought about other things with my segment too, but just haven't.
Well, here's the thing:
revealed
as
them
much
yet.
as we try to make it more professional and more streamlined, every time we try to add a new element, it's like one step forward, like 2, 3 steps back.
2 steps
Yeah.
back.
Gotta relearn everything again.
Now it feels
Yeah,
like a Paula
pretty much.
Abdul song. It's just a track.
So,
Eh,
give us your initial reactions of this beer. You've had this one before, right?
Yes, I have. This is actually it was a favorite of mine to like fall back on. It was like a nice easy grab from the store if I just kind of wanted a double IPA they don't really have to think about.
What does that mean?
Available in 19-ounce cans, isn't it, as well now?
Meaning if I don't want to like stand in front of whatever beer cooler that I'm in, it's just if I just want to go in and just get something that's solid, that I know I'm gonna like, rather than sit here and just kind of like sift through and like
think for 20 minutes about it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Aaron knows what I'm talking about.
Ah,
Actually, I'm
yes.
sure
We've
everybody
all
here
had
knows
that.
what I'm
What do I
talking
want
about.
dilemma?
Yeah,
Oh,
it's just I mean, it's tried and true.
Initially, how does it taste against the Waldo?
Um,
More hoppy, more malty? Which version of this is?
well, it's hard to say since I haven't had Waldo since last week.
Oh my God!
Yeah, well, it's
New week, new beer.
New week, new beer.
basically.
Even if it's the same beer,
Well, you
it
know
still
what?
feels like a new
You're
beer.
lucky. We'll come back to you. So you just drink it up, down, while we
Yes.
get the main show. The main. We're going tonight. There's no.
Yeah.
We're gonna kick over the water cooler.
I'm not the main event. I'm just the cold, or I'm the
Yeah. You're just a starter.
Cold
open
open.
out, if you will.
You're the hors d'oeuvre.
Cold beer section.
Mhm.
We're kicking over the water cooler this week, and we're going a full topic. So this is we're doing a big franchise focus, franchise fracas. We're going to send every current and past, because I wanted to make it competitive and have more games. So there's some other games from developers that are no longer around, but first party games, franchises, had to be a franchise, so it couldn't be one game. So it couldn't be Ghost of Tsushima. Sorry, that game couldn't be
Right.
Returnal. Returnal doesn't have a sequel, you know.
Nope.
Couldn't be Death Stranding, even though Death Stranding is an exclusive, but that's an independent studio that's not owned by Sony. So it had to be a certain. I had to like look up all these. You know, it couldn't be Prapper the Rapper, because that studio actually wasn't owned by Sony, even though it was an exclusive game that wasn't owned by Sony. So I found a bunch of games, and we're gonna put them up head-to-head franchises, and we're going to talk about them and debate whether they deserve to move forward or get left in the dust.
Cool.
You ready to get started?
All right.
First round. in this silly, stupid game of ours. Papaton versus Jack and Daxter.
And that's Patapan.
Whatever, Jared. Fine, Jared. Tell me all about
I think
Jared,
I'm the only one that's
Jared,
ever even kind of dabbled in.
Jared, tell me
Patapon.
all about Patapon.
It's a rhythm game, essentially. Its roots.
By
Little characters you're controlling. My favorite part about it is like they chant Patapon, Patapon,
which is like
Patapon.
syllables. It's like the music.
Yeah. It's really interesting. It's fun. It has a really cool art style. You can actually, I think you, Ian, can play them with your subscription on PlayStation.
Maybe.
Really?
Yeah, so I'd recommend that because they're actually pretty fun.
It's developed by Japan Studio, one of the many games. You know, there's like multiple. Obviously, there's multiple studios in this franchise. So like, obviously, Patapon, Japan Studio, and then Jack and Daxter, Naughty Dog. You know, we're gonna have some companies going up against each other. But I've never played Patapon. I could tell you nothing about it except that
if
it
you
is
like rhythm games, it's definitely worth checking out.
Except that it is a rhythm game.
It is.
Has anyone else played it?
Was it just for the PSP?
It was on PSP. I think both of them were on PSP. But
There's
they
a
got
third
ported to PS Vita or something like that. I don't know exactly which console they were
They're on
but,
PlayStation Portable.
they are on PlayStation 4.
And they're on PlayStation 4, so they can be played on PlayStation 5.
Yeah. So you have a way to play them.
Yes.
All six of us.
All six. Well, if
whole
you have
six-pack.
PlayStation Plus Extra, you could probably play
Yeah.
them. Probably.
Of course.
Yeah.
But none of us have actually played one of these games except for Jared.
I haven't played a lot of them, but what I did play, I enjoyed.
Oh, that's cool.
There's only two.
So there's
one and two.
There's one vote for Patapon. And then the next one, Jack and Daxter. Who has played the Jack and Daxter games?
I've only played the first one.
I've only heard of them. I've never played them.
You know what? I take that back. I'm thinking Ratchet and Clank.
It's going well. These
Yeah.
these franchises need to survive. I played the whole trilogy. And no one else has
I
played.
liked
Right,
the
there
first
was a
one, and I know it changed a lot after that one because that was just like, here's another 3D platformer where you collect orbs or whatever it is, and you know that's about it.
I knew this first round.
and then it went into.
I knew this first
Attitude.
round was going to be kind of sad because these are some games I kind of just filled the party with. All right. Well, you guys can still vote, but you don't have to. I mean, you kind of have to because I don't know what Jared's going to pick. I mean, if Jared picks Jack and Daxter, then we're fine. But I'm picking Jack and Daxter. So
Yeah, same here. I loved the first game, and I never played the others, but I if there was a platinum trophy in that first one, I would have gotten it because I collected everything in that thing, and I loved it. That was back on PS1.
all right. Well, no one needs to vote. You guys can talk about it if you want, but only...
Yeah, I remember playing Jack and Daxter a little bit, but I've never really played that game series. Never
Is
even
it like a
heard of it.
Spyro type game?
It's like Spyro or Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
the
It's
first
more
one
Ratchet
is
and
the
Clank.
first one. The first one is very kind of platformy.
It's a platformer.
The second and third ones are very open world. They get very infused by the Grand Theft Auto thing, and they're very kind of more open world, shooty, less platformy than the first one. So Jack and Daxter, the first one, is way more like kind of classic.
It's a different game.
Yeah, it's
compared
different.
To the
It's
other
it's,
ones.
it's
Yeah,
a
way
very different game, and I actually
Yeah.
like the sequels more than the first one. So,
Maybe I'll try them someday. Probably not, but maybe.
all right, let's move on. Killzone, Guerrilla Games versus Siphon Filter Bend Studios.
I love
Oh,
Killzone.
man. I love Killzone as well.
Yeah. I've played every Killzone except for the portable ones. Portable, whatever it's called.
Yeah, same
Same.
here.
Same.
Or PSP
Siphon
or whatever.
filter. No,
I have
got
Siphon
into it.
Filter. I think Dave gave me Siphon Filter for the PS1. I have it. I've never played it.
That's like
It-
stealth espionage kind of stuff.
I think I
Yes.
tried. I
PlayStation
played it a little, and it was okay.
It's
Very
okay.
dated now, obviously, but
I mean, Bend Studios, obviously the guys that made Days Gone.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Right.
you know, you have any love there? No, that's it.
Yeah.
So what are we choosing for this one then?
Killzone.
It was like,
Killzone.
Killzone.
oh my god, we're going Killzone.
Such
Yeah.
a fun game.
And I still remember playing Killzone 2 specifically, and just being blown away
Oh yeah.
by some of the scenes that were set up in it on the PS3.
Having played a little bit of
There were
Killzone
some-
1, I was always kind of surprised it ever got a sequel.
I didn't play the first
Right.
one. That was on PS1, wasn't it?
Yeah, but there's been a remaster for like 3 or
Yeah.
something.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
I think Killzone 1 came out on the PlayStation 2.
Oh yeah,
It did,
that
yeah,
sounds
but I
right.
think there's a remaster or something for the PS3 or something.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, the only one I've
Killzone
ever
1 was pretty
played.
boring.
The only one I've ever played is Shadowfall, the one on the PlayStation 4.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That one's
I
alright.
Yeah,
remember, I remember Shadowfall.
it wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
Two
I
and
think it was
two and-
Killzone 3.
2 and 3 are the
or-
best.
They did
Yes,
really cool
I
things with
agree.
online matches because it
Right.
wasn't just like one mode. They switched between different modes during one online match, and I had a lot of fun playing that too. That was before like
Yeah.
a lot of games were doing that kind of stuff.
Sweet.
Yeah. I loved the Killzone. The only thing I didn't like about Killzone 2 was there were some parts it felt like you were literally in a shooting gallery where like you'd be hide here and all of a sudden you see them like come out one at a time. It's like okay. Am I gonna get like a stuffed teddy bear for my prize or something if I kill these
Uh-huh.
guys?
That
Killzone-
sounds like
No.
most first-person shooters.
It was also a pretty tough game, Killzone. Like
It
Killzone
was.
2, Killzone 2 is pretty brutal.
yeah,
Yeah,
were
it was
difficult.
rough.
Because they went for that weapon feel. Remember, the weapons were supposed to feel heavy, so like they weren't really responsive. They were kind of weighty, and there was
Yeah.
girth behind the weapon, and
Right.
it made it difficult.
All right. Well, Killzone's your
Mhm.
leader in the second round or in the first round second get match. First round third match, Motorstorm versus Twisted Metal.
Oh man, talk about blasting the past on both of those. Holy cow. That's a toughie.
I imagine most of our first times is going to be Twisted Metal Black.
I played the
Yeah.
first two Twisted Metals
I played the
and
first
Twisted
two
Metal
as
Black.
well. And Black.
Well, Twisted Metal Black kind of pissed me off because
What? That's the
that's the
best
one. I got it with the modem on my PS2, and it made my PS2 spark, and it never worked after that point.
Serious?
It let the
Yeah.
special
I think I
smoke
remember
out.
that.
Yeah, it had that special electrical smell, that electrical burning smell.
Man, Twisted
So
Metal Black had
that was
like,
the end of my Twisted Metal series.
Love
Twisted
Affair.
Metal Black had like the Rolling Stones. I
I don't know. I never got to play
so
it.
good. I had
Yeah, I
Twisted
I
Metal
didn't buy
Black.
another PS2
Didn't we played that together a couple of
Oh
times?
yeah, we played that again a few times, and then
Oh,
I
okay.
actually bought the PS3 Twisted Metal the reboot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my problem with most of these brackets is I didn't have a PlayStation 3, so I might have played the first one on the PlayStation 1 or the PlayStation 2, but I haven't played some of the later ones.
You totally
Uh-huh.
played a shit ton of Motorstorm.
Yeah, I think I played
Yeah,
more
I played-
Motorstorm than Twisted Metal overall, but the multiplayer experience with Twisted Metal in my high school days is something that's hard to beat.
Right. That's how it was with me too.
I remember because
Yeah,
like the Motorstorm launched on the PS3 with the axis controlling
Mhm.
Yeah, 6-axis.
6-axis.
Yeah.
You would drive it. We'd have to turn it off because it
Yes.
sucks so bad. You'd have
Yeah.
to like just drive it normal.
It was a great idea in theory, but then we come to play total garbage 6-axis idea. At least at the time, anyway.
we all kind of bail. I mean, everyone bailed. I mean, Wii was the only thing that kind of that whole controller
Right.
thing.
They did a good. Yeah.
Well, saying that is funny. That's how I play Gran Turismo 7 in VR. I use my controller as the steering wheel.
No, that's true. There you go. Well, they got it
And
obviously
it
got
feels
better.
fucking great.
All right, Motorstorm versus Twisted.
Trying to upgrade.
Motorstorm versus Twisted Metal. What are you guys voting?
Oof.
I'm going.
Twisted
I'm
Metal
going
for me.
Motorstorm.
I'm going Twisted Metal.
Yeah,
Jerry,
Twisted Metal. It's because the early experiences with my PlayStation 1 and the group of friends that I had at that time, we played so much Twisted Metal, 4-player split screen, just having such an awesome jam on it.
and so Dave picked what?
I picked Twisted Metal.
Nick has never played Twisted Metal. You have a PS2. You never played Twisted Metal?
if I did, it was probably just for like a couple minutes.
And John never
Cars
played
with
Twisted Metal.
guns.
John's never played.
I've played it before, but Motorstorm would be a game I would play more of.
So two
That's
versus
fair.
3, and Nick's not picking anything, or you were picking something.
I'm not picking anything because I don't think it'd be fair for me to do so since I haven't played. I can't.
Twisted Metal.
I have
it is.
no. I mean, it probably would
All
have.
right, Twisted Metal for the win.
How was the reboot
Alright.
on the PlayStation 3?
Not that great.
No.
Twisted Metal Black
games
is
just don't do
Twisted Metal
well.
Black is the pinnacle of that game.
Yeah.
I could see that. Yeah, that was a fun one.
All right, Gravity Rush versus Infamous.
Oh,
Oh, I love
That's
Infamous. Gravity Rush, I've
love-
only played like demos.
Oh, I played
Mhm.
Gravity Rush 2 quite a bit, and I played Gravity
Did.
Rush 1 a bit on Jason's PSP one time
Oh, wow. Back in the day.
back in the day.
Yeah.
But I'm more of an Infamous guy.
I would
That
have to
game was
say Infamous
fantastic.
too.
Yeah,
Like,
Infamous
Second
Second
Son
Son and all that
me,
was
'cause-
super awesome.
Again, the first one was on
I enjoyed-
PlayStation 3 and it looked cool, but not having
Mhm.
the PlayStation 3, I didn't get to
It's
play
even
it.
better when they gave it to you for free after some sort of data leak,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
How could I forget?
That's right.
It's funny 'cause I bought
which
it.
is how I
before
started
that.
playing it.
Yeah, but Dave
And-
played Infamous Second Son on PS4.
I played
Yeah.
Second Son, and then we got the
First Light.
DLC, didn't we, as well?
yeah,
What was
First
that
Light.
called?
Was it
First
First Light?
First
That was
Light.
pretty
Uh-huh.
fun.
Yeah.
John?
I kind of
So
liked
then
how
there
you
was.
you could play through twice on the Second Son, and it was different the second time. I'm trying to remember how they.
Well,
did
yeah,
that.
they had this like kind of like a Paragon
Yeah.
like evil bad thing.
Oh,
on
yeah.
Infamous has always had that good or bad
Yeah.
choice.
Yes.
John, do you ever play the Infamous games?
I played Second Son and First Light.
But none of the other ones?
I've never played Gravity Rush, but I just looked up Gravity Rush, and apparently they're making a movie out of it.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe.
I didn't see that. Well, they're also
Interesting.
making a Twisted Metal TV series.
Oh yeah, and we already saw the trailer for that. We should have mentioned that. Yeah, that
Nice.
franchise. That
That
franchise is
surprised me.
that franchise is going places.
Yeah. I can't wait to see the game based on the TV series.
Oh God.
So it sounds like we're pretty much going Infamous on this one.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah.
I just like the fact in the first one when you got the fully powered up Cole, where you got to be able to pretty much control fucking lightning from the sky and just roast everybody in that entire area. That was awesome.
It's
I
a
just-
great
that was
game.
like my
I wish
favorite
they
part.
would go back to Infamous. Actually, I wish they would go back to the original
Yes.
character. I was so in Second
was
Son. I didn't really. I mean, it looked better, but I like the original. I like Cole,
It
the
did.
original guy from Infamous. I like that guy better than. Anyway, that's
Yeah, he had
Right.
much cooler power anyway. So
but that's never gonna happen, probably.
anyway.
All right.
Yep.
Well, we're going from Infamous was Sucker Punch. Now we're going back to another Sucker Punch game, Sly Cooper, or versus Medieval. So we got a raccoon versus a skeleton. Who? What?
I only played
ever played these
part
games?
of both of them as a
Been a
series.
bowl.
Yeah, I haven't played much. I like the art style of Sly Cooper a lot.
I'm going Sly Cooper.
Yeah, that was. Yeah,
Same.
the art was much better. Medieval was.
Medieval is
Yeah.
on. I should try it. It's on the PlayStation Extra.
It's fine. It's fine. I don't
It's
know.
okay.
It's nothing special, I think, but
Hey, listen, guys,
Yeah.
we're just trying to get through some of these, all right? So
Yeah.
I get it.
So it's
Sly Cooper for me.
Are we going
yeah.
Sly? I'm going Sly
Sly
Cooper.
Cooper.
Sly Cooper. Dave and you
Fair
guys don't
enough,
care.
if
I'll go
No one
with yeah.
cares. No one cares.
I've not played either one of those, so I'll go with
Sly Cooper, the Thievius Raccoonus, or whatever it's called.
Any bits and pieces of
Yeah.
I
both.
think I might have played
Sly Cooper
Medieval
better.
back in the day on the PlayStation 1. So
I had a demo disc on the PlayStation 1 and I played it that way. And I played the demo
Yep.
of the remaster of that one.
All right.
Yep.
Our next game is by Zipper Interactive, a game that a lot of people actually want to see come back, and that's SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs versus another Insomniac game, Resistance,
Yeah.
and that franchise.
Ooh.
My
Oh, man.
experience with SOCOM is playing online and being spawn camped. They're camping at the spawn point, and I just kept on dying over and over and over and over again.
I've never played SOCOM.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember it
sounds
as
like
being one of
Counter-Strike
I do
problem.
remember it being one of that first games that you would buy it and it was sold with the headset.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
But
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna go
But-
Resistance.
Yeah, Resistance is
Yeah.
awesome. I want to
Oh
see
my
that come
God.
back.
I remember when you
Same.
first got your PlayStation 3 and going over to Yorzy and
That was Jason.
Split screen.
Oh, that was Jason.
Split screen.
Yeah,
that
wasn't
was
it?
awesome.
Jason would bring his
Playing it.
PlayStation 3 over and we would play Resistance.
yeah,
Here's the
I
reason.
remember
That's
it
the reason
being
why I
really
bought a
hot
PS2 in the
outside
first
and
place.
having all the curtains closed and
But I do have them all.
I never got to play
Nice.
3. I was too late on that board. Nice. No, I remember playing all. I remember playing the first 2. I played a bit of the third one, but I
I love the third one. I think the third one was super underrated.
Yeah, oh yeah, where we had to play as his partner or whatever, Bernelli, or was I can't remember his guy that you had to play as because the one guy turned into the creature at the very end, if I remember right. I can't remember what they're called, but he turned into one at the very end, if I remember right, and it was up to his colleague or something like that had to help him get back or whatever. I can't remember what it was, but
Yeah, it's been a while. I don't remember a lot of specifics, but I remember there being a lot of really good moments in the game.
that
Didn't
was
they,
like one.
pieces.
For Resistance 2, didn't they tie in the PSP game with the PS3 Resistance 2? So if you played the PSP
I don't
version,
recall.
you could
Get on the Wikipedia, find out. I don't remember that. I haven't. You know
I
what?
don't
I
remember.
played one. I played one all the way. I've played one and beat it. I've not really played 2, and I played 3 and beat it.
They had really creative weapons.
Yes,
I like the weapons a lot in the game, and not many games do it like that. It's just here's your AK, whatever number, and
Here's your
here's your
AK, here's
hand
your super
cannon.
shotgun.
There you go.
I just remember in
have
the first.
fun.
I just remember in the first Resistance, there's a battle where you kind of come down the hill
Mm-hmm.
into like this open area, and you just are onslaughted with enemies. And I just remember, and then this giant thing drops down, and you're like
Yeah.
fighting this like giant bipedal tank thing, and I just remember being like kind of blown away by like, oh wow, this is where video games are going. Now by today's standards, you're like, whatever, like shit like that happens all the
Right.
time. But like
Mhm.
back then, we were playing on PS2. The jump from PS2 to PS3 was, regardless of how buggy the launch was, the games were
Mhm.
like, holy shit, there's so much more going on, and then they looked so much better. You know, you're going from
Right.
SD to HD. You're just like, holy shit! Like when we went from PS3 to PS4, sure it was cool, but like we were playing like,
Yeah.
I mean, most of us, I think we demoed Destiny on PS3,
Yeah, we
Mhm.
did.
and
Played
then
the
we
beta.
jumped over to
That's right.
PS4 Destiny. It's like, oh yeah, okay, and it's just like, but it wasn't the biggest as that PS2
Yeah.
and like Resistance.
Yeah, SD
was
to
just,
HD is huge transition.
and that
Yeah.
Resistance
kidding.
was just like, and that's Insomniac again. Anyway.
Mhm.
All right,
Yeah.
let's keep moving. I want to get this first round out of the way. Our next match, Astrobot versus
Astrobot all the way.
I got the
I love
Astrobot.
Astrobot.
I played Knack. I couldn't get into it, and I
Yeah.
actually liked Astrobot. That was a fun one, so that's got to be for the win.
I was never interested in NAC, and I never played it.
I think Dave beat both
That's
NAC
what-
games.
I think I've beat both Knack games. I enjoyed
Okay.
them. They weren't bad. But
Did
I
you
don't,
ever
I,
play?
I don't, Astrobot didn't do it for me.
Okay.
The-
Did you
the
play
same way
Astro's
that you're
Playroom?
saying. I think I did.
That's the free one on your PS5.
Yeah, I played that.
Yeah,
I was
okay.
like, meh. I mean,
Yeah,
it was
I
all
love
right.
it.
It was. I just don't think both of those games are not really my jam, like Knack or
Right.
Astrobot.
Yeah, not that style.
But
Mhm.
But one
know,
was
I-
one was enough of his style that he beat both of them.
yes,
Yeah.
Right.
yep.
Did any
So
of you other
clearly,
guys play through Astro's Playroom on your PS5?
Oh, I did. I platinumed it.
It's free. It's on there.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
I'm at
really.
the end of the T-Rex, and I just haven't figured out how to beat
Yeah.
him. But
What? And how it feels in the
I-
controller, and what you do with the controller, and it's probably one of the
So
best
good.
games. Anyway, I'm
Mhm.
going Astrobot.
no, it's great. I'm just
Yeah.
not very good at it.
Astrobot.
My youngest daughter and I always play it together and dink around, and all that stuff.
We have 3 Astrobots versus
Yeah.
One knack.
1 Knack and 2 people that are not going to say and 2 people that are not going to say anything. There you go, Astrobot.
All right, Astrobot.
Awesome. And in our final match of this round, of this massive first round,
It's already going to Gran Turismo. So
Yeah, Gran
talk about
Turismo versus MLB The Show.
Does anyone have anything good to say about MLB The Show?
Has
I'm sure
anybody played MLB The Show?
I'm sure if you're a baseball fan, it's a great
I
game.
did.
It was. I downloaded.
I
I mean, I've got it on the PS4, like one of the versions, because it was on a PS Plus 1 month.
It's
but-
the only
Yeah.
baseball game,
Yes.
guys. And it's now
and
it's the only baseball game, and it's now sold on the Xbox. It's like
I
the
can
one
play it
PlayStation
on
game.
Game Pass.
It's the one
I can play the
PlayStation.
newest one on Game Pass.
It's the one PlayStation game that is sold on an Xbox console. Like that's
Uh-huh.
how dominant it is. Yet none of us play it. So that's cool though. That's fine. I'm cool.
Yeah,
with
it's
I
sports.
mean, there were
stuff.
better.
Yeah.
There were better baseball games in the past, and
in the
I mean,
past,
I
but
guess
like they don't exist anymore. So
Yeah.
all right, Gran.
Too
This is,
bad.
I have a feeling this is the
There's the one
only
baseball
win.
game, play
This is
them
the
all.
only
Yeah.
win my Gran Turismo is going to get tonight. But I love it. It's great. That's wonderful. That's awesome. I 100% appreciate
Yep.
that. All right.
All right.
So
Should we
we're gonna
check in with the
yeah.
Beerstro?
We're,
Or
I,
you
would
want
I
your
thought
next
we'd check.
beer?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Jared. Yeah, thanks for
Yeah,
the
let's
segue. I
go.
mean, that was the whole original plan. But you know.
I just changed beer, so I thought he probably had already.
Have you? Are you into the Waldo?
I opened it. I haven't tried it yet, but
okay.
I just thought I'd. Well, no, I was saving it because I thought maybe you just want my thoughts.
Oh,
on
okay.
it.
Let's get the wrap up on the.
Yes,
Yes,
because-
please.
Because one of their big boasts is that it's America's favorite IPA. It's not my favorite IPA, but I mean it's a good one. It's solid. It's hoppy, but not too hoppy. I mean, not an
Is it-
overabundance
is
of
it-
anything.
But in a double like an imperial, they tend to be a little malty heavy, just to kind of mask the alcohol. Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
I mean, yes, it's a little malt heavier, but I mean, not overwhelmingly so. And it for a double IPA, it's kind of like the lower end of the alcohol portion of it, only at 9%.
Hmm.
Or at least I guess maybe in my opinion, because I've seen some doubles that kind of go a little higher than that.
Remind me what the 90 minutes means.
I believe it has. I mean, Dave will probably know more about it, but it has something to do with like the boil,
I know
the-
exactly.
the boil time.
They have an
I think that's what
order,
it is.
and what they do is they make 60-minute, 90-minute, and 120, and they basically continuously put hops in for. Normally, when you brew beer, you put some hops in at the beginning for the bitterness, and then some towards the end for the flavor, and then some at the very end of dry hopping for the aroma. But what they do is they continuously add hops for the whole boil. So basically, the 60-minute one is a 6% beer, and that's why you don't need to boil it as long. And they add hops continuously. 90 minutes is even long, boiling it for 90 minutes, adding the 120. And you need to add more hops as the alcohol goes up because, you need that bitterness to kind of compete with the alcohol.
I've only had the 120. They did not add enough hops. It just tastes like pure alcohol. It just tastes like Steel Reserve.
Well, they claim it's like 17%, but it can get as high as 20%. It's
Mhm.
Oh,
when
it's
they
just
brew
like
it.
it's just
Over
like
time.
oh, it's just so gross.
And it seems like very like as the years go on, it's like it varies during the years. I've seen it go down as
Yep.
low as like 15%.
Yeah. I've seen it 15 to 20. It seems like they have
to
to have
range.
got a lot less than it used to be. Like when
Is-
I first encountered it, it was more in the 20, and now it's down in the 15
Yeah.
17.
Is there a popular of the three, the 60, the 90, and the 120? Is there a popular of the three? Like, is there
The
one
one-
more?
I want to say I've seen like the 90, like probably like
90's down a can. That's
There's
how
a
popular
big
it's
push
become.
on the 90 right
Yeah.
now because you can get it in a
and
lot
I
of gas
think
stations.
So that's
I
the more
mean,
it's the more
100
popular one then.
Probably.
I
I
would-
mean,
That's the one that I've always seen the most of. Like 120
Mhm.
minute always seemed like kind of more like, I don't want to say seasonal, but just like
No,
occasional.
it was
If that makes
yeah, it
w-
was
is it
occasional. They
was it in
brewed
a
it like 4 times a year or something, and you would only ever
yeah.
see it
Mhm.
at John's Spot Market, whereas 90 minute you see everywhere. When I lived in
Yeah.
Baltimore, you used to see the 60 minute every. That was a pretty common
I mean,
one.
I've seen 60 minute. I've heard there's a 75 minute, but
Yes,
I
there
didn't
is.
get to actually see it.
I've seen it before at John's Market. That's where I see it.
Okay.
It's just a limited thing.
Yeah,
Well, it's not limited, but they have it. So
Cool. All right.
but I mean, we basically spent a few minutes not talking about the beer, but kind of its sister brews. But at least 90 minute, it's pretty consistent with their 9% ABV. Probably not as boozy as 120 minute is. So if you ever get around to checking it out, Ian, which I've got a bottle or two for you. Yeah, imagine that. So we'll check it out in a year on Milkman Drinks Beer.
Yeah.
I just dropped
Nice.
Trumer Pills, and that's literally like a year ago I bought that beer.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
one's been
I
a
just
long time coming, hasn't it?
yes, it
But,
has.
Quite the backlog.
anyway. All right. Well, start checking down that Waldo, and we'll carry on in the next round of the PlayStation first party franchise Fracas. You guys ready? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Little Big Planet
Yeah.
versus Jack and Daxter.
Oh man.
Little Big Planet from Media Molecule, and Jack and Daxter obviously from Naughty Dog. Two original PlayStation first party developers. Who are we going with?
Yeah, I mean, I do like Little Big Planet a lot. What's always held that back is the platforming sections of it, which is most of it. Just it doesn't feel super good to play or anything like that. But it's really inventive, and the art style and the music are top notch. It's like it has so many good parts, and it's hampered by its actual physics engine.
But
But
it's really cute.
it is. I've
You-
played all four Sackboy was, and Little Big Planet 3 were both done by Sumo Digital.
And kart racing.
There was a Little Big Planet kart racing, but
There was Jack and
yeah,
Daxter combat racing too. FYI.
I remember
yeah,
that
that's
too.
right. Uh-huh. But yeah, versus Jack and Daxter, I've played a lot more Little Big Planet. Of course, I've had good memories of that with multiplayer because almost all those, I think all those you could play 4 player, and I was able to play several Little Big Planet games with my daughters and all that stuff. So of course, that's where I'm going.
Nick, do you have anything?
I mean, I've only played Little Big Planet, so that's basically where I'm ending.
All right,
Basically, everything Jared said. It's a nice, fun, cute game.
Dave, you have any information on this one?
I really don't like Little Big Planet. It just
Alright.
doesn't do anything for me. I found it frustrating when I played it. It was a long time
frustrating
ago.
is
I just didn't enjoy it. Didn't feel like it was a very good game.
Aaron, any thoughts?
I'm gonna have to. I honestly, I'm both with Dave and Jared. It was kind of a frustrating game to play, but it was cute and it was. I mean, it had its easy, fun parts as well as this frustrating bang your head against the wall moments, just because of the physics itself. But I like the game, and especially at one point in the series, you could start creating your own levels and
Mhm.
all the other stuff for people. But that was pretty fun.
Mhm.
I never seen anybody be able to actually do a solid one until I started playing those people who really took their time to do it. That was they did some good ones. There's some good
I
levels
think
in
in
that
Little
game.
Big Planet 2 you could actually use the camera and take pictures of things.
Yes, you could. I remember that. I saw some
Yeah.
really good like creations from other
Wieners,
people.
right? Yeah.
All winners.
Yeah.
John, do you have any input to add?
I played Little Big Planet a long time ago. Um, so it's a fun creative game, and it's always kind of been it wasn't so much platforming, but just how there's a lot of tools to create your own levels. And I remember it was kind of one of the first games to be that extensive with its level creator.
I'm going to say, like, I liked Little Big Planet before all the superhero costumes or the costumes you create. So like I had a Wolverine costume, I had Metal Gear Solid pack costumes, but I also was
Nice.
able to create a Spawn costume, which I thought was cool. Anyway,
That's
silly.
all those imagine are
silly.
super adorable.
Yeah, silly and adorable. Like a little aggressive Spawn. Anyway, I'm
Aw.
going to go Little Big Planet.
Yeah, like Sackboy kind of became icon for PlayStation for a long time. It's like one of their
He did.
spokespeople.
So
Not
Jared's
no longer, but
Jared's going Little Big Planet.
yeah.
Nick, you going to choose or no?
No, I'm going Sackboy.
All right.
Not that I played the other game.
Dave is not going Sackboy. He's going
I'm going Jack and Daxter, even though I didn't play that game that much either. I just
Aaron-
really dislike Little Big Planet.
Aaron.
Little Big Planet simply because of all the customization, and also I made a little Kratos Sackboy once, and it was angry adorable. So, God,
John, you don't have to pick, but do you want to pick?
I would pick Sackboy.
All right. So, oh man, Dave is on an island.
sorry, Dave.
That's all
that's
right.
fine by me.
It's
It's
SOS.
Yeah,
Little Big Planet is just a game I don't like.
that's okay. Yeah.
You
It
can
doesn't
put
feel
pretty
good to
much
play,
any-
but it looks good to play.
All
You
right.
could put anything
This-
against it.
That's fair.
Next in the second round, in the second match of the second round, Killzone versus Spider-Man.
Oh man, that's a toughie.
Spider-Man all day long. Like that
Yeah.
game is so good. And
Yeah,
I played the
yeah.
Miles Morales, which was pretty good too, and I just really enjoyed that game. The way
And
You
Dave's
have
not
such
even
a-
into comic books.
no,
Yes.
it's like the way that of all the open world games I've moved, like the city felt humongous, but
It did.
never felt. It didn't feel like really annoying to get from one end to the other.
Like laborious.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
I
Yeah.
actually found myself not using the fast travel points. I'd rather like
I love
same
swinging
here.
around, kidding.
Just like
That's
swinging.
Spider-Man, baby.
And then the fighting mechanic was just kind of it. It did a good job of balancing between like combinations and button presses that made it interesting,
Right.
you know, and using your Spidey powers.
I agree. Who wants to add
So,
something?
I liked all the customization for these spider suit you could have.
Yeah.
Like
Hmm?
there's like what Punk
Yep.
Rock Spider, there was Spider-Man 2099, there was Symbiote Spider-Man.
They
all
really
of them.
dug in. They really did.
Yeah, and I like that some of them gave you like
different
powers.
powers.
or buff. Yeah,
Perks or
you
whatever.
could choose to be like more damage orientated or more health orientated or various other stuff. And I really like just sneaking around in the rafters and like pulling people.
Oh yeah.
That
yeah,
was
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
awesome.
That's pretty cool.
that's so much fun.
That was- I
It
know.
reminded me a lot of Arkham City.
Mm-hmm. Arkham
That-
City, such a good
Very,
game.
very similar concept there.
But more comic booky even.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
John, you recently played
I think-
Spider-Man.
No, I think it's funny because Killzone has been a longer running franchise, but I would say, I mean, there's been multiple Spider-Man games, but
2, and they're working on the third. The third's coming out
Yeah,
end of
but
this
even
year,
before-
probably. But
even before then, there's been other Spider-Man games as well.
Since
But I think
Genesis.
it just shows how strong those. To me, it shows how strong those two Spider-Man games are compared to 4 Killzone games.
oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Well, it's the studio too. I mean, Insomniac is known for solid games. We just talked about Resistance. We had Ratchet and Clank and other games like that. I mean, they
We
came out with
haven't
some
gotten to Ratchet and Clank yet, Aaron.
yeah.
Spoiler.
Really?
Spoiler.
Well, I never said anything. I was just saying they come out with games that that company is known for Titan games. So it's like,
Well, I'm sure if they kept on making Killzone games, they would have been awesome at this point. You know, the last one we got
Yeah.
was the launch of the PS4. It was a
Battlefall.
launch game, and after
still,
that,
still
they
pretty
did
good
Horizon
game, but
Zero
a very,
Dawn.
very launch game. I mean, but
Yeah.
I would agree. I think the Spider-Man game is Yeah, but like the story in Killzone, I mean, the lore of Killzone is slightly interesting, but I just feel like that the voice acting and everything is just better produced in Spider-Man, and then the gameplay is just a lot more fun. Overall,
I couldn't tell you one of the characters in the Killzone series, and I've played most of them.
right,
Mhm.
and I think, you know, a first-person shooter game, you kind of know what the gameplay is,
Mhm.
whereas Spider-Man is offering gameplay that you are hoping is going to be awesome. Because any Spider-Man game previous to this Spider-Man game, previous to any of the Insomniac games, the spider swinging has been mediocre in my opinion.
At best, yeah,
Yeah.
mediocre at best.
So like this game finally nails that, and that's all they had to do. Ultimately, that's all they had to do. They had to make a
Yeah.
game that just had fucking cool swinging, and that's what they did. They nailed that. So
Yeah, they
Yeah.
did.
all right,
Fantastic. It was,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man for the win.
yep.
Yep.
Next, this one's gonna be. You know what? I'm just gonna be. Anyway, Uncharted, Naughty Dog versus Twisted Metal.
Uh,
Yeah, that's unfair.
Just to be
Mm.
dissentious, I'm gonna go Twisted Metal because I hate fucking Naughty Dog at this point.
Oh,
So.
I love Uncharted. Yeah, get bent.
Yeah, I played most of the Uncharted
Mhm.
relatively
I
recently.
played all of them.
Twisted
Yeah,
Metal.
Except for I didn't play the PSP
Twisted
one.
Metal Black alone is better than all of those games.
Well,
I'm
the
good.
PSP, or was it Vita? It was Vita. The Uncharted on
Vita.
Vita was made by
Uncharted Golden Shower. Yeah,
oh, that was made by the Bend Studio, wasn't it?
but it's still PSP, right?
Yeah,
I think
that's
so.
something.
We'll have to come back to these brackets once they've made the TV show Twisted Metal, and we can do which TV show in the video.
Yeah.
game.
So we
It's
should
quite a lot of
talk
videos.
about the movie then, Uncharted movie, because that wasn't very good either.
Oh.
I didn't watch it.
But the Twisted Metal series doesn't look like it's necessarily going to be
It's
the
got
best
Len.
thing ever.
It's got "Don't Steal My Sunshine." Anyway,
Huh.
we're good. I'm good with the TV show already. Anyway, we're talking about the video game Uncharted versus
Yep.
Twisted Metal. Nick, you've never played a Twisted Metal,
I don't believe I have actually.
And
Have
you've
you ever
never-
played Uncharted?
and you've never played an Uncharted.
No. And I
Oh,
believe I
oh,
have.
really?
How did you get on this show?
play Uncharted, dude.
Because of the beer?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he got on because we were doing a beer show.
That's right. That's when
JPK,
I was on parental leave.
JPK, what's your input on these? You've played these games, Uncharted.
Oh, I played. I mean, my favorite Uncharted game was A Thief's End. I feel like
Oh, the
I played
TPS,
the I
the
played
final one.
most of the original trilogy that came out on PlayStation 3, but I just found it to be repetitive, and I found like Thief's End kind of created enough diversity, and I think how they handled the flashback portions.
I would agree with that.
And also it was kind of one of the first games to me that how realistic it looked. I mean, Nathan Drake, they did a great job aging Nathan Drake's face, that he looks like a believable late 40s pushing 50 adventurer.
I also believe the story in that one. So like, here's the thing. So like, A Thief's End is the PS4 version
Yep.
that came out. Like the first Uncharted game, I think is just boring as fuck. And then the second one is fine,
I love the second one.
but then the boss
Played
is
through that a
like
few
the
times.
boss is like shoot the glowy bit alien or whatever, and it doesn't make any
Oh,
sense.
you mentioned that.
Like it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense in the game. Like I don't understand what that has. I mean, I know they explain it, but it makes no sense in the game as a whole. So
Yeah,
it's like,
which
That's the
is the one
worst
with the
part of
Yetis.
all the Uncharted games at the end.
and then 3 is just a rehash of the first game. So then I did playing the fourth one. I agree, John. I think the fourth one is in my opinion, is the best game. I enjoyed it. I was surprising I played through that and enjoyed it. I thought it was cool that they incorporated the Crash Bandicoot stuff.
Yeah,
That was kind of
awesome.
inventive. And then I felt like there were actual stakes in the game, whereas the other one just felt. You know what's funny? They always I don't know. She's in Uncharted 2. He's always like staring at her ass and making jokes, and I always thought that was incredibly sexist.
Sounds sexist to me.
But then that studio always likes to coined themselves as being progressive and blah blah blah. But it's like it just seems like that's like I don't know. Anyway, who else wants to talk about Uncharted?
No,
I
just
played
don't-
it. I loved it. Lara Croft was a really good Tomb Raider. Oh wait, sorry.
I think
Same.
hey, if we're gonna
I
go
love that
if we're gonna go
genre.
if we're gonna go down that realm, I think the Lara Croft trilogy is far superior. But
I know I was trying to be a smart ass because Uncharted is pretty much male Tomb Raider to me, honestly.
and you know what?
But-
And you know what Tomb
Yeah.
Raider and Uncharted are? They're just
Indiana Jones.
Yeah, well, they're fact that like
Yeah.
no one can
Yeah,
produce
pretty
a good
much.
Indiana Jones game in that
Oh, that
genre.
is currently being worked on. It's just we haven't seen a trailer yet, and that's going to be for Xbox.
From fucking Machine Games, like they make first-person shooters. So what
Yeah,
is that
that'll
going
be
to
really
be?
interesting.
I don't even
Oh.
want to get in on that, man. I don't even think
Hey,
about that right
what
now.
was wrong with Indiana Jones and Fate of Atlantis?
It came out forever and a century ago.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll just give the rights to not Naughty Dog, but the
Bethesda?
Insomniac. They do a good job at it.
All right.
Oh,
If you
give
if
it
you
to-
guys have nothing else to
That's
say
Insomniac.
about Uncharted,
It's Uncharted.
is it Uncharted?
It's Uncharted.
Uncharted.
It's
to me,
probably
yeah.
Uncharted. Yeah.
Twisted, unfortunately, I'm going with Twisted Metal though, but it's probably Uncharted.
It's Uncharted. Okay. Next. Okay. This will be interesting. I'm pretty sure, but we'll see. Infamous versus God of War. We
Oh,
have
okay.
Sucker
This is
Punch
one I would-
versus Sony Santa Monica.
God of
Fuck.
War.
God of War. So John,
Oh, yeah,
God of
yeah.
War.
Not just because of the recent ones, but the first three.
Oh, fuck
Where-
that. I would take the first Infamouses
Fucking
over
rad.
the original God of Wars any day.
No.
Oh, fuck yeah.
No.
Those games I hated.
As much as I loved the
hated
Infamous
those
games, I loved them. I played
I enjoyed
the
those.
second one multiple times.
I enjoyed him too.
Dude, that
really
Kratos is
did.
the worst fucking character. I hate those.
I think I
I
would
agree
ignore
that-
Ragnarok.
Oh, Ragnarok is
man.
way better.
Ugh.
Those original
here's-
those original God of War games are so awful.
No, I'm
So-
with Jared.
They're
I thought
definitely
God
of their
War
time.
2 Was out of the original trilogy, I like God of War 2 the best.
So if we're gonna go through,
Yeah.
like, if you get it as a whole, see, I didn't like the character as much. Kratos his story was very like
God of War 2 is
I'm
an awful
I'm
game.
with Ian. I'm with Ian on the character. He's a douche. He's a total dickhead. The
No, but
entire
the game isn't
fucking
fun.
time. But that's the thing. I like the game itself. I enjoy, but then once you get past the first three and start going to the new series where Kratos is actually more like, I like him so very much.
This is the
It's
problem
like-
with this one because like God of War, like I like the current two God of Wars, but I hate
Oh, no,
everything
same.
before it.
Oh yeah, I understand that. It was very yeah. I mean,
But you guys are picking
no,
God of War purely on the original God of War.
I'm going off of the God of War, the
No,
one
but
that
Jared
we all
and
agreed upon
Dave
as
aren't.
amazing.
Jared and Dave and John are going off the original.
I would still
Well,
pick
that's
God.
just what I
said
started
out-
with.
Out of the original,
mean-
original trilogy, I
Yeah.
like God of War 2 the most.
Oh, it's such an awful game.
And
Holy
as
shit!
it's Infamous 1 and 2, you know, they were fine. I don't know.
Oh, I'd pick-
the main
I'd take-
character was fine.
I like the world of God of War. It's just so
I
grandiose.
like the world better, but the character is awful. It's just a shit character. I can't stand him.
He's not,
That's the only reason,
Yeah,
and that's the only reason I like the new games because it like made him so much more chill. Like
they made him
the-
chill and actually
What
like
made
you
him
can
more
Yeah.
human.
like him. Yes, and he's not a angry, fuel-driven dickhead.
Nick, did you ever play Infamous?
Yes, I did. I have the first one because of as I mentioned before, that leak that
That glitch?
Oh yeah, right.
PlayStation, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
um,
Did you
from
play it?
two-
Did you
and
play
that's
it?
actually, I did. I actually sunk a few hours into Infamous, but I'm gonna go with God of War just based on the latest two games.
Yeah.
Alright, well,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
not
kind of
not
what
the
I'm
first
doing,
trilogy. I
honestly.
mean, so my first experience with God of War was actually God of War 1, but it was like the remastered version for PS3.
Oh
Mine
yeah,
was the
but
demo disc of God of
it-
War 1.
I got it as a
mean,
birthday
I
present.
played it and it was fine, but I guess it just didn't really grab me because I played it and that was it. I just could have sunk a couple hours into it and moved on to something else.
Yeah, see, I like the first three, but I loved God of War, the new ones. That one is just I've said it in several podcasts before, the perfect game of its type, honestly. And the fact that it all in one shot, I had no idea they did that. Like, even the load scenes, it didn't feel like load scenes. That's rare, and it's just perfect. I mean, yes, the Infamous games are good, but until someone said something about them, like, oh yeah, I remember those games. Those are fun. If you say God of War, like instantaneously the 2018 version or whatever, 2016, whatever that one came out as.
Well, of
That
course,
was just,
the latest ones are far superior than the old ones. But
oh,
of
I mean,
course, the old ones were of their time, and I loved them
Yeah.
at that point. But I overall, as a series, I think God of War triumphs way over Infamous.
yeah.
This demo
Yeah.
disc was mailed to my house.
Oh man.
What is? It's
Man.
backwards on your screen.
Oh,
Like, what does it say?
It's God of War
God of
1,
War.
and it's the
One.
Hydra battle. So it's the first level up to the Hydra battle. And this
Oh,
was
yeah.
mailed directly to my house.
PlayStation
I love
5.
that.
No,
Not like
PlayStation
fighting
2.
Hydra.
It's
PlayStation
backwards.
2.
Oh,
Yes.
okay, yeah, it's backwards. My eyes are just not
PlayStation S.
reacting with my brain.
No, so I remember playing that and being like, "Oh, that's super cool."
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then but then I was like, "Oh, I don't need to play it." After I beat it, I was like, "I don't need to play that anymore."
I think that Hydra stage is just a poor representation of what the first God of War.
No,
Can
I think
do.
that's the best part of that whole game.
Really?
Yeah, the Hydra battle's awesome.
Oh God.
Well,
I
it showed
Hydra
it goes
early
downhill
what
from
God
there.
of War was really
And
good
then-
at is
and then-
size and scope.
Yeah, and then you
Like,
and
oh,
then
They did
and
really
then
well,
and
I
then the
agree.
sandstorm level is super cool and all that shit.
Yeah.
Like the hearing and stuff. God of War 2 is just fucking redundant and just like the same and just like boring. It's just like, and it's more just Kratos being, "Ugh," and it's just like it's not as fun as the first one. Like the first 100%, the first God of War game in that original trilogy is better than the second one. I don't know what you're fucking
I agree.
smoking, John. I have no idea what you're smoking.
Well, I think the God of War 2, they did a great. It almost had an open world feel, and I think they really pushed the level loading where you'd be walking around and the next section would be loading.
When's the last time you played it?
Oh, years ago.
Oh yeah. So well, not years ago, but I recently, just after I had bought my PS4, I had bought because I went back and played God of War 1 and 2. For some reason, I bought him to play through them again, and I just God of War 2 is awful in my opinion. But anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't
That's
matter.
okay. It wins either way.
We're winning. It's God of War is winning. I'm actually picking it, so we're not picking. I mean, I love Infamous. Infamous is just not as edgy and as well put together. We spent too much time on that. All right,
There
next.
also hasn't been the new Infamous game for a while.
Well, there's not going to be because they're making Ghost of Tsushima, which was not eligible for this game because it's only one game.
With DLC.
Infamous
is about it,
Tsushima.
Yeah, but it's I mean, technically they're making a movie. You could argue it's a franchise, but I wasn't gonna go there.
Anyway,
Maybe next year.
Next battle: Ratchet and Clank versus Astrobot.
Ratchet and Clank all day long.
Yeah, Ratchet and Clank.
I love the story in Ratchet and Clank. So and the
This
gameplay
is
and the
the-
guns and
Yeah,
Yes,
this is the
Zircon.
hardest one for me. Because I've
man.
played all the Astrobot things, in both VR things, the platform stuff on PS5. I mean, but then like Ratchet and Clank, we all four of us played the All for One multiplayer version
that was
of
a
it.
fun.
Yep.
And that was a lot of
So
fun. We've
fun.
done multiplayer in Ratchet and Clank.
Mhm.
And yeah, I think Ratchet and Clank really does take this one over
You wanna know
Astrobot.
why
As much as I love Astrobot.
Ratchet and Clank wins this one because they had a game called Up Your Arsenal.
Yeah, Ian
Right.
has a nice collection of Ratchet and Clank games.
Jeez.
Yes, all of them. Mrs. Zircon approves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mr. Zircon. The weapons in Ratchet and Clank really
Here's the problem with
set it above
Here's the
anything.
problem with Astrobot, and this is why Astrobot loses all the time. It's like Astrobot is a fairly generic character, and he doesn't. Ratchet and Clank
Hmm.
have such a designated identity and they have
A great storyline as well.
great
Yeah.
storyline. And Astrobot, you don't know really who he is, or he's just a shill for PlayStation. You
Just
don't really
there.
know what he's doing. So I'm going Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah,
I'm Ratchet
yeah,
and Clank in
totally.
it.
Hmm.
I don't even think we need to talk much about that. Like,
Yeah. No.
I mean, just our
No.
experiences in multiplayer.
Plus,
I
they're
think
all
we're
great
enough there.
games. We've done
Yeah,
a lot
they're
of
all
game night.
fantastic.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is probably a gimme. We probably don't really need to worry about this one too much. But Gran Turismo versus Horizon Zero Dawn or whatever that franchise, the Horizon franchise. So
Oh.
Gran Turismo versus the Horizon franchise. I mean, honestly,
Man.
I'm gonna pick Gran Turismo
I knew that.
because at the end of the day, I've been buying Gran Turismo games and playing I've spent more
Yeah.
time in Gran Turismo, and I've never played the second. I haven't played Forbidden West, so.
I don't think you've missed that much.
But that's where I'm at.
Okay.
The first Horizon game is the best. To me, is the better one with the story and that. The second one's too much fluff in it.
Yeah, a lot of fluff, but
story's
I
not
liked where it
pretty
went
good,
and
yeah.
where it's going. So it makes me look very forward to the future of it. I mean, I've been playing Gran Turismo since the first one, and I haven't bought every edition of it because, mostly it's very same, like the same racetracks, but the physics get a little better, the graphics get a little better. The latest one, of course, is something very special, especially in VR.
Do you not have the new
And-
Horizon game in VR, Jared? You didn't get that?
I've played the demo of it. Well, I don't want to spend $60 on it. I'm gonna wait till it goes on
on
sale.
the climbing simulator.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
mostly
think-
climbing. There's a
I
lot of
forget
climbing.
there
in
is
it.
a third game in that series I
That's
haven't
fun.
played. Yeah.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed tinkering around in the VR Horizon game and VR Gran Turismo. But overall, I think Gran Turismo VR is way more interesting and fun than Horizon VR. But yeah, this is actually kind of tough for me now that I think about it. As much as I love Horizon as a series so far, and I'm really looking forward to it. I think what makes me want to vote for Horizon is that I'm really interested in where it's going, where Gran Turismo doesn't really have an ongoing story or anything like that. I'm you know me. I like stories. I like lore. I
Yeah.
like background stuff. It's all interesting. And while Gran Turismo, yes, it has history of cars, but a lot of that's been kind of beat into the game series for a while. Now it's just
John was
getting
big
way more
into
intense.
history and video games, and like Gran Turismo has done more for video game history than any other
They-
video game.
They have a lot of history inside the game, yeah. Especially the latest edition of Gran Turismo. So much history in it.
Nick DeWin, have you played many Gran Turismo games?
2 was the first one that I actually played. I actually bought that.
But do you like them?
Probably I did because it was like one of the first games that kind of introduced me to the idea of actually modifying a car for actual gains. Not
Right.
to mention, I kind of have some core memories of starting a race, listening to Rob Zombie's Dragula or Stone Temple Pilots.
The soundtracks have always been, at least for the
yeah,
early
the
ones,
soundtracks
pretty
have always-
stellar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was always awesome. I still remember my red Toyota Celica that wasn't worth shit for money if I wanted
Yeah.
to sell it, but goddamn if I didn't plunk a bunch of money into it.
Mm-hmm.
And have
Right.
you played
Um,
Horizon?
No, I haven't.
Oh,
I know Dave does not like Gran Turismo.
Actually, I'm gonna vote for Gran Turismo because
Wow.
I
Oh.
like how they push the graphics on the system, and I like what Ian says about the. It's not my kind of racing game because I'm more of a I'm sure they've improved the damage physics since I last played one consistently, but
I don't know about that.
you
Oh,
know
what are
that
you
was the
talking
one
about?
bit.
Yeah, they totally have.
That was the
Yeah,
one bit
okay.
that I never quite I do like a game where when you crash into the wall, body parts go off and you
Well, it
lose
doesn't do
your
that, but they
aerodynamics.
dent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always that's the one bit I didn't quite like about that, but I also remember playing with Ian and having fun racing around and playing. I haven't really played many
I think
since
it's
Gran Turismo 4.
one of the
but-
most consistent video games produced by a console manufacturer.
I think in our early game night days, Gran Turismo 3 was a staple at my place, and in Justin's place.
It's just one of those games that
Yeah.
runs really well.
It always has
runs
run really well. It's
It looks
always
good.
pushing, and it's always pushing the hardware. It's not like it's running well and they're lazy. It's always one of the best looking games that's out there. And then the other reason it gets my vote is they just put so many different cars in it, and like really obscure cars that you've always wanted to kind of drive, and you maybe only read about online. You've never seen one in real life, so.
Well, yeah, you can
really
really
enjoy
drive
that.
the original Fiat 500 up a hill and realize it can't make it up the hill.
I like the Jensen Interceptor. That was the one I always enjoyed driving.
Aaron, what do you got? You have any, what
So-
horse? What pony are you riding in this race?
Well, so, gosh, I've had a lot of memories with Gran Turismo. I played the 3A spec, the best one, well, one of the better ones. And I don't get me wrong, I liked Horizon Zero Dawn. I liked what it did. But I haven't played the second one. I played a lot more of the Gran Turismo, and beautiful game. Yeah, there wasn't a story to it, but the fact you could literally play any car you fucking desired. My favorite car was always the Rally Subaru Impreza
Yeah,
or WRX.
that's the one.
My favorite one, my favorite car in the entire game. Then other cars came,
Mhm.
but that one.
We'll get smoked by an R32. Just change the tires. Anyway,
So fun, so fun. I'm going with Gran Turismo.
What?
Sorry,
whatever. John, what are you picking? You're
it's
obviously
like Gran
picking.
Turismo.
No, you are, but
Uh,
John's picking.
I'm
John's-
picking Gran Turismo.
Oh, John's picking Gran Turismo. You're not picking Horizon? Why does everyone hate your Horizon?
I played
I
the
don't
first
hate
Horizon,
Horizon.
and I didn't finish it. I got tired of it.
Oh my god.
I liked Horizon. I just couldn't. I felt like I had more history with the other one, and I don't like playing with a lot of people. No offense, I would let them much, but that game I really wanted to play with people all the time on Gran Turismo. Like when I was growing up, my neighborhood, we always had all the kids. We'd always have like tournaments with that game. That was fun. That was a fun tournament. I got my ass whooped, and I got it pretty hard in that game.
Yeah. Beats
Well,
playing
worth
with
it, though.
yourself, doesn't it, Aaron?
Okay.
Yes,
So John,
always does.
John, why are you picking it? Like, you didn't like Horizon.
'Cause
You-
I didn't like Horizon.
but you play Gran
uh,
Turismo? Have you ever played Gran Turismo? What?
maybe once.
You're picking one time of Gran Turismo versus
Yeah, because I
The
didn't
sh-
like Horizon Zero
you
Dawn.
didn't like it. You don't. You're like that misogynist that you just can't.
Exactly.
Oh man.
Who's to say there aren't female drivers in Gran Turismo, Ian?
I mean, only if you're wearing a wig. All right. Jesus. Like, this is a surprise for me.
Yeah, it's actually difficult for me to choose. It is.
Well,
It
it's
was
not,
hard.
no, it's
It
not
was.
difficult for me. I'm picking Gran Turismo, but it's difficult for me. It's difficult for me to believe that Horizon is losing to Gran Turismo right now. Like, as a lifelong Gran Turismo fan, as someone who has purchased every Gran Turismo game at launch, you know,
I didn't
like
purchase
none of
all
you
of them.
guys who like Jared's the only guy I know who's purchased Gran Turismo. Well, Nick he bought one a long time ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've owned
same
probably
here.
four or five Gran Turismo games.
But I've bought
Over
every
the years.
iteration since. Well, I didn't start till Ace. I mean, I did buy Gran Turismo 2 and 1 later, but Ace Spec is the one, is the one I bought at launch. But
Yeah, I bought that one.
I love Gran Turismo with my whole heart. It's like the only reason. It's one of the only reasons that I still buy a console, because I know it's the one game that Sony's never going to actually port to PC, because there's so many racing games in the PC space
Mhm.
that Gran Turismo is never going to be ported to PC. So like that's one of the. It's like the one game that keeps me, like Kojima games. As long as Kojima is independent, his games are going to come to PC. Death Stranding came to PC. So whatever happens, I'm gonna get a Kojima game. So I could give up the PlayStation except for Gran Turismo, and like it's my favorite game. And the fact that you guys are all picking it over Horizon, which I think Horizon is actually an awesome game. And if Horizon was fighting against God of War, I would instantly choose Horizon over God of War.
Yes.
100%.
Well, who picked the brackets?
Yep.
Well, I made the brackets. Well, yeah, no, I understand that, but I had to make sure that not everything. I didn't want. If you look at the bracket,
You've got to try and make a fair bracket.
well,
It's
not only
like one
that,
of
not only
the
that,
strong
but
stuff
like
and the weak stuff.
there's games with multiple companies, and I didn't want companies going against themselves early on in the bracket. You know, I didn't want like Horizon versus Killzone right off the gate. You know? I needed to like try and make it fair. But no, it's cool. This is cool. I honestly, I didn't think Gran Turismo would win this, so I'm incredibly shocked. So okay, all right, I'm putting it in.
Yeah, GT.
Let's go over to Lord Beerstro and see where he's at with his delicious Waldo.
It's very delicious.
How you feeling, buddy?
You feel like
Is
you're
it
about
settling
6
in?
You feel like you're about 6 or 7 beers in?
Absolutely.
Nice.
I will say, even after starting off with the 90-minute IPA, I'm still going to choose the Waldo over the
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Dogfish Head.
Hopefully you can find
Jesus
some more for
Christ.
next week.
Well, I have a 6-pack, so
Okay,
Always
good.
What is going to dethrone this beer?
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah.
And why is it
I don't
better?
know.
Why is it better?
It just it had a lot more flavor to it. I mean, just everything about the 90-minute IPA was just a lot more pronounced with the Waldo. And maybe that has to do with the fact that it's a triple IPA versus a
Triple.
double.
Mm.
But I actually did this this comparison. I think I did it last week, kind of on the show on the low. Well, nobody was watching, but yeah, I did the reverse order where I actually had the Waldo first, and then I drank the 90-minute, and just when I got to the 90-minute, everything was just so muted compared to this version of the Waldo. So it's yeah, it's just everything. I mean, that's probably why Waldo's only a special release. You can only get it for a certain time of the year versus the 90-minute, which you can get it year round.
Do you know if they do that because specific ingredients are only available, or like something they buy for it is only available at a certain time of the year?
I don't. I'm gonna look at the label to see if maybe they say anything, but in true Lagunitas form, they probably won't because it'll be lost in the story of nonsense.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Love
good.
nonsense
66
stories.
Impala. That doesn't answer any questions. Yeah.
Yeah, just a special release.
No.
That's all.
Yeah, it's just a special release.
No rhyme or reason why it comes out if it that specific time of the year.
No.
It just does.
Yeah.
Dogfish Head is still independent though, right? They're not owned by anybody, right? Not like Lagunitas.
Yep.
Well, I think they merged with Sam Adams.
Oh.
But
Yeah, I want to say.
Sam Adams is independent
Right.
too. So I guess the answer to your question is yes and no.
Yes and no. They're owned by the biggest independent brewery in the world.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, maybe in the U.S., but
Yeah, the Boston Beer Company.
yeah. Makers of Twisted Tea. So if you want to hit somebody in the head with it,
So Waldo is greater than a Dogfish Head. Got it.
All right.
All right.
Indeed. So
The new wiener.
Heineken beats
Oh, the
Boston
same
beer.
wiener.
All right. Let's get. What do you call the? Not is it semifinals? Before the finals?
We didn't do Sly Cooper.
We
did we,
still
on
need to
Resistance?
do the
we didn't do
Last
it.
of Us versus
No.
Sly
You
Cooper.
guys are right. How did
Yeah,
I not?
man.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I thought we were. Oh my God! I'm gonna
Yeah.
talk about my least favorite game of all time.
Yeah, Ian can't stand The Last of Us, so
that's
he's
right.
voting Sly Cooper. All right.
Last of
anybody else?
Last of Us versus Sly Cooper.
I love
Naughty
The Last of
Dog.
Us.
Naughty Dog versus Sucker Punch.
Naughty
I've
Dog,
played
let's
both
go.
of the
Sucker
Last
Punch
of Us
right there.
games, and I can't remember playing any of the Sly Coopers. So for me, it's the Last of Us.
Yeah. Take that, Ian.
I'm picking. Obviously, you already know I'm against Nick to win. Do you have any comment on this?
No, just that I played Last of Us
Did you like it?
for a few minutes. I did, but I mean,
You
clearly
did,
not
but,
enough to like stick with it.
Not enough to stick with it. That's a glowing request, Aaron.
I mean, I don't want to hate on the game either. It's probably more my fault than anything, but
God, I'm having a tough. I have a tough time because I didn't. Well, actually, I'm not. I'm gonna go with Sly Cooper because honestly, I tried playing Last of Us, and I'm just like, okay, this is really boring. Okay,
Man,
pretty, but nah.
I
I
love
get
this
it.
story.
Not very pretty.
I get why it became an HBO series. I
don't-
get
I
it.
can't.
I totally.
They just wanted a Walking Dead knockoff.
Yeah, but no, I couldn't get into it. I tried. I'm just like got 3 hours in. I'm like, I'm done.
John,
I
what
will
you got?
say
Yes,
that
like-
Oh, Aaron, Nick's got something to say.
yeah, kind of. Just like the first 15 minutes of me playing The Last of Us inspired somebody else, who kind of joined our Discord not too long ago to actually just fully invest in the Last of Us series in terms of the game and the TV series itself, and so he's a huge fan of it. So
All right,
I'll take a little credit for that
there you go, John.
thing.
Oh, Last of Us for me.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh man.
So that's 4 Last of Us's versus 2 Sly Coopers. Is that where we're at?
Wait,
Sounds like it, unfortunately.
let's go.
The worst game knockoff story. All right, Resistance versus Destiny.
Destiny.
Oh.
I'm going Destiny too. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yeah.
We've all
Yeah,
had too much.
yeah.
I don't
fun
really
with
need to
Destiny, yeah.
talk about.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Anyone want to fight for
Anyone-
Resistance? Anyone
yeah,
want to fight for
any-
Resistance?
Opposition.
Nope.
I suppose all I can say
Resistance
about
fell.
Resistance is
It's
I
a-
did
it's a
enjoy
still-
it.
It is, and
Yeah.
it's a franchise that should come back.
Yes.
I agree. I
100%
totally
agree.
But Destiny, dude.
Yeah, Destiny's got it down.
Destiny's
I
grabbed
would
it.
Well, at
love to
least
see
the
what
original
Resistance could do
Destiny.
in this new modern consoles
Oh my
generation
god. It
with
could
the
probably do
weapons
so
that
much
they
more
have
now.
and- yeah. Let's
Sorry.
bring it back. But
I meant to-
Destiny.
I meant to do that round and then do the
Yes.
Beerstro, and I just wasn't paying attention. But now we're now in the
That's okay.
semifinals. Boom. Little Big Planet versus Spider-Man, and I feel like this is no questions
Unanimous.
answered. Unanimous Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Right? I don't think we have to.
Spider-Man, yeah.
I mean, I
We
think
don't need to talk
Spider-Man.
I
about
think
that.
I even had a Spider-Man skin for my little sack boy guy.
Sounds
Yeah.
about right. Yeah.
But
Not
I
gonna fight it.
I
feel
mean, I would
like
have gone.
you know what we should have done? We should have I should have had you guys all look at. It's too late now, but I should have had you guys look at all the games, and then we should have like bet on what game was gonna be the winner.
Oh.
Anyway, all right. So Spider-Man takes that round, and it moves on to the finals. Next,
Yep.
Uncharted versus God of War.
God of War.
God
Gotta be God of War, yeah.
Only because the modern ones. If it was the original 3,
Oh yeah, if it's the original 3,
Yeah.
God of War, I would totally go Uncharted. I
would
love
probably
Uncharted,
I agree.
but the new God of War is so good.
I agree
so
with that.
amazing.
Yeah.
I think I 100%
Right.
agree with that, Jared. If
Yeah,
it was the
but-
originals, I'd say fuck that, and I would go Thief's End alone
Yeah.
would like
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
But
I love Uncharted so much, but yeah, God of War is just something special. It's always going to be on the top
evolved.
of the mind. Yeah, it's so good.
all right, now we're gonna get back to this like weird, this one, Ratchet and Clank versus Gran Turismo.
It's
I
got to
gotta
be
go with
Ratchet and Clank
on
for
this
me.
one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's
I
clank it
enjoyed
up.
that game series more
I'm
than
still Gran
Gran
Turismo on this one.
Ratchet and
That's
Clank.
fair enough.
I'm
Yeah,
still Gran
I
Turismo on
get
this
you.
one. But
Yeah,
I think
I love Ratchet and
you
Clank.
guys are all gonna pick Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
All right.
I was
Yeah.
gonna go Gran Turismo because I've never played Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, there we go. That's
the
two.
The
That's
new
still.
one on PS5.
That's
is
2
so
versus
good.
4. That's still 2 versus 4. It's pretty
Yeah.
good, but it's still.
Sorry.
It's all right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks
I mean,
for being a brother, Nick.
Mm.
Thanks for being a car lover. Ratchet and
Mm.
Clank.
I mean, Gran
It's getting harder
Turismo
and
kind
harder
of.
to decide.
I mean, there's always been kind of the arcadey race games, but I mean, Gran Turismo 2 was really kind of the game that introduced me into the idea of actually modifying. I mean, yeah, I mean, just modifying a car. It's probably what helped me actually play some of the Need for Speed games, and even coming back and playing just like any other,
It also
even Dirt,
it also games
even Dirt too.
But even like in that early stages when I wasn't a car person, it introduced me to cars, and then it taught me what cars were badass. Cars that I thought
Yeah.
were cool, and then it said, "No, these are the cars." So like
or even
I
cars
didn't
that you would
learn
just
I didn't learn how cool a Skyline was until it was Gran Turismo. It wasn't fucking Fast and Furious
Right,
or
yeah.
whatever. It was this is the car that destroys everybody. This is the car that you need to be driving, and then you start seeing it in culture as being the car.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But no, yeah, I want to give a nod to Need for Speed or not Need for Speed, but God damn it,
Gran
Gran Turismo.
Of the other racing
For-
car game
for-
that's popular.
Well,
Right.
right, but I mean, if I didn't play Gran Turismo, I probably wouldn't have played Need for Speed. I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have played Dirt or anything else. So,
Right.
Yeah, racing
So,
games really
I want-
progressed after Gran Turismo came out. They really did.
Mhm.
So
They
this
have.
might be
Yeah.
this might be the most interesting semifinal battle. The Last of Us versus Destiny.
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 how is Destiny in this? I didn't think it was a first party franchise because
Sony owns Bungie now.
Sony owns Bungie
Yeah,
outright.
they own it now, but it was previously
Doesn't matter. They own it,
Vision.
and it's a franchise they own.
Yep.
Yeah, but you can buy it on other things, so I don't know.
Yeah, but you can buy MLB The Show and other things. You can get
True.
God of War and Uncharted and Spider-Man on PC.
Mm-hmm.
There is that, yeah.
but I guess
Yeah.
the reverse. That's
just wanted to
It's
clarify
owned by
that.
a first party studio. It is now owned by Sony first party. It is still a multi-platform game, but it is owned solely by PlayStation. So
True.
it's their franchise. It's a first party franchise.
It is kind of the odd one out in a way, though, because it's the
It
only
is.
one you can get on the Xbox.
No,
MLB
MLB
The
The
Show.
Show you can get on the
Well,
Xbox.
true, the MLB, but that
Yeah.
went out ages ago.
I think I downloaded it. I just need to play it.
So,
I don't turn my Xbox on as often as I should.
anyway, it's got to be
Mhm.
Destiny for me.
Yeah,
I mean, The
Destiny.
Last of Us, I enjoyed the first one. The second one was so-so. And
I still play Destiny.
I haven't played Destiny for a while, but
I don't play The
I'm
Last
sure
of Us
our
over and over
listeners
and
will
over.
have many a choice. If anyone were to say anything, this is going to be the battle where they pick you
Yeah.
guys can't be using that. Yeah, that's owned by Sony. It's first party studio.
Yeah, F it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm not.
there's
Okay.
a lot of
My rules were that the franchise had to have at least 2 games in the franchise, and it had to be a first party studio. That's all.
Mhm.
That was my thing. And that's
Yep.
they spent what? What did they spend, Jared? They spent I don't know how much money on it, but they bought
Lots
'em.
of bills.
Lots of bills. Not as much as Xbox trying to buy, Activision, but
They're getting closer.
kind of. All right, we are in the finals. Well, we're not the finals, but we're in the finals. This is actually the semifinals, I guess, because then the
Yeah.
actual finals.
the
This is
Final
Yeah.
Four.
yeah,
yeah.
the final 4.
Ay.
Spider-Man versus Destiny.
Ooh,
Oh.
Destiny.
I gotta go
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
I've had so much fun with both of those series. It's a hard one
Same.
to pick for different reasons. I think overall Destiny is probably the stronger one, and I enjoyed it more. But
Replayability is a big factor there. I'm still having fun playing
That's
Destiny.
true.
but Spider-Man's
true.
those games are just solid, and I've enjoyed them. I
And
can't
you
wait for
know how
Spider-Man
much
3.
I loved the first Spider-Man game because of not being Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
No one else had a problem
right.
with it. Maybe you're just a poor
John,
gamer.
What do you got? What are your thoughts on this?
Oh, I said Destiny.
Oh,
You said Destiny. I remember that.
All right.
Yeah, and even when I played Destiny 2 by myself, it was still fun to play.
Yeah.
Like it, I
Solid.
This
forgot.
playing itself was fun.
I mean, Bungie knows how to do set pieces for their games
Right.
and how to
And
create a world that's interesting.
And it just feels good. I mean, the mechanics of the game, it just feels, it flows. It's really, just feels good.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all right.
It's still on my console, the second largest install I have on my PS5.
As we go back to this a little bit, like when Dave argued, said, but let's say we were to do an Xbox version of this, and then the Activision thing goes through. It's like then their first party is Diablo, and
Yeah.
Skyrim, Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
It's like, well, those were on. You know what I mean?
That'd
It's
be a
like,
fun bracket to do.
and
Yeah.
then we can do it at some point. But what I'm saying is like, as soon as that sale goes through, they're gonna have games that are so you can't not put Destiny on this.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, Nick DeWin, have you played Spider-Man or Destiny?
I played Spider-Man 2018.
That's an Activision game, I believe.
Yes.
Oh no, this Spider-Man game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Recent
2018.
Spider-Man, yeah.
That's 2018.
Yeah.
What was that last Spider-Man
Man,
game?
that's 5 years ago.
Yeah,
It's
it
been a
seems
long
so
time.
long ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I remember it.
Did
I
you
played,
beat
right?
Did
I
you beat
played
that
it.
Spider-Man game?
No, I didn't. I've only got one trophy on it. So.
Nick DeWin, do you beat video games?
No, I just start them and then I move on to something else.
Yeah.
I
It
sample.
happens,
You
man.
haven't played
I don't eat the full meal.
You haven't played Destiny?
No, I haven't actually. I
Oh.
don't have the first one.
Okay.
It's,
And I
the second
only
one's
put
free
the
to play.
second one on my. Yeah, and I threw that on there, but I haven't actually played it.
Oh, we should play it with Nick. We
And you actually.
should all play it with Nick. That'd be fun.
Well, here's the thing. It's like you actually convinced me to actually remove it from my PS4. So
Yeah, well, you put it on your PS5 because you get the PS5 version.
Mhm.
60 frames per second.
Crisp.
It makes so much
Silky
difference in that
smooth.
game. So smooth and buttery.
but you didn't mention that part. You just said the PS4 version was a waste of time. And
It was.
check it out.
I mean, it is. I mean, the Destiny
Yeah, you're
2
missing frames, bro.
Yeah.
And from what it sounds like, the first Destiny was the better one. So
Well, that's
I may have
arguable.
already
I mean,
missed-
yes,
I
I
love them
agree
both
with
for
that.
different
I will
reasons,
agree with
yeah.
that, but yeah. Anyway. All right.
I
so
mean,
Destiny,
maybe I'll hang out with Jared's brother and play with
Destiny-
Yeah, he
him,
plays
but-
all the time.
Destiny
he's
is
trying you
is
through it.
moving
Is he-
on to the
So
finals.
is he playing Destiny or Destiny 2, Jared?
Destiny
D2.
2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So install Destiny 2 on your PS5. Get the
And
PS5
then I'll
version.
Play
Destiny
with
moves,
Jeremy and while he cooks food. And it'll be fun.
Destiny is moving on to the Kumite. And
Okay.
this next battle is laughable. Like, I honestly thought it would be Horizon versus God of War. I did not think it would be fucking God of War versus Ratchet and Clank.
This was a
Well, yeah, it's God of War, obviously.
God of
Yeah.
War, yeah.
God of War.
I would go Ratchet and Clank, but I think the
I think there's a
shooting.
case to be made for
I
that.
think Ratchet and Clank is a better, like, overall. Like, if we're measuring 2 games versus all the games, like if we're measuring
I didn't
measuring
play a
all the
lot.
God of War games, I'm measuring all the Ratchet and Clank games. I'm literally picking Ratchet and Clank over God of War easily.
I only played the PS3 and PS5 and PS4. Yeah, those ones. I didn't play like the early
you
Ratchet
play the
and Clank
remake?
games. Yeah, I played the remake that was the
one's so
movie
fun.
and all that stuff.
The remake is the
Yeah.
original Ratchet and Clank
Yeah.
for PS2.
Yeah, but all the other ones that you had, I only played the PS3 ones that you let me borrow. I've never bought
Mhm.
No, I mean,
Ratchet and Clank game except for the PS5 one.
You did play Up Your Arsenal.
Yeah.
But you only played that multiplayer with us co-op.
Yeah,
The split screen.
on your like collection or whatever.
Yeah, because there's a 4-player thing where you play like
Yeah.
capture the. Anyway, I think the weapons and the comedy far outweigh this dour bullshit of God of War. So I think I'm gonna go 100% Ratchet and Clank is better than God of War.
Go for it.
And
I'm gonna go with God of War.
John's going God of War. Jared,
God of War.
God of War. Nick,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's unfair, but just God of War because that's the only game of the two that I've played.
Dave.
So
I'm gonna go Ratchet
not
and
fair.
Clank. I think you persuaded me. I was kind of on the fence a bit and thinking about it. Like the first PlayStation 4 God of War is the one that really makes that series for me, and versus like the Ratchet and Clank games, I've had a lot of fun with those. So. I always enjoyed the 4-player split screen. where
Plus,
used
we
to
had a lot of fun
grief each other.
playing Ratchet and Clank All for One or whatever it was called.
Yeah,
All for One.
Together, we actually beat that game as a group. Anyway.
Yep.
Aaron.
See, this one was a tough one. I knew it was coming, but I gotta go with the fact. Yes, I know that the first 3 God of War games were the character for me. With the character, the gameplay, yeah, it was great, but the fact that they were able to literally flip the entire franchise into this good direction from this angry, sour, pissed off man to, all right, I like this guy now, and the story is just so good, and the gameplay is amazing, and they
But-
just did stuff that was great. Don't
But
get me
when
wrong,
those-
if
When those first games came out, people didn't talk about, oh, he's just a shitty character because he's always mad. Nobody talked about that until like they were talking about doing a new God of War game, and then
He was always
people were
shitty. What are you talking
it.
about?
Yeah, I know, but that wasn't like the point of
I
contention
was talking
with
about
the
it.
games.
Dude, back when I was when I went back and played through them before these games came out, I was like, he's such a shitty character.
Yeah, but we were all like teenagers when they were coming out.
yes,
And that's like,
exactly.
yeah, okay, cool.
Teenagers.
This is awesome.
That was 2005. I had just bought my house. I was married. What are you
I was
talking about,
18.
teenagers?
2005.
I was 18,
God of War
technically a
1.
teenager,
God of War 1.
but
God of War 1 comes out in 2005.
Really?
Yeah, coming March
Wow, that was
2005.
like
That's when I bought my
ass
house. I
end
bought my
of,
house like in
PS1,
January
wasn't it?
2005.
Wow, yeah.
I remember that.
We
Yeah,
were
I
old.
remember
Having that in the little apartment.
Jeez. I thought it was earlier than that because the PS1
Teenagers.
came all
I mean,
yeah.
John might have been a teenager. Aaron might have been a teenager.
I was like
Okay.
14.
I was
or something.
18.
yeah.
That
We
was
were
long
like-
past the
We were like in our
Jeez.
20s.
I was mentally a
Mhm.
teenager then.
Yeah.
Huh.
I still
But
am.
no, I'm just gonna. The fact that they were able to make a game that was quote unquote a continuation slash reboot or revival of the series, because there was like I do remember a lot of people were complaining about it once they announced the new God of War was coming, because there was perspective it's gonna be the same person, because they didn't really show much gameplay. This is the teaser of the Omega symbol, and then they showed actual gameplay. It's like, what? This looks amazing. And then they kept that going and made it even better. And the fact they did that was just a knockout of the park for me with that one. And then, yes, if it was just based on the first 3 versus Ratchet and Clank would have just tossed Kratos on his fucking dick. But
But God of
the
War
fact that-
Ascension. God of War Ascension was really that game that really just like, that's the best one.
I did not play that one, which
Oh.
I should have,
Oh.
but I just, like I said, the fact that God of War they were able to turn the franchise into even better leagues above its predecessors. It's hard to make a successful sequel or continuation thing.
I get it. I believe it.
Or
It's hard. It really is. It's like look at most sequels for video games or movies. They're not garbage, but it's like, oh, the first one's way better. This one, no. This one's like leagues above the first 3. So it's
Alright.
like,
Alright.
but that's why pick God of War. I mean, don't get me wrong.
No, it's fine.
Since the first two years.
God of War wins. Dave, I respect you going with me on the Ratchet and Clank vibe. But let's be honest here. Can God of War defeat Destiny?
Could either of them defeat it?
Yeah, could either of them defeat it?
Could anything defeat Destiny?
Like, what would defeat
First party or not?
Destiny is not only that, but Destiny is like we're sponsored by Destiny.
Yeah, pretty much.
We
Jeez.
did a month segment with a podcast.
I think we did a
2
year
months of
segment.
Destiny,
Jared.
yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah,
We did.
I mean that's
Yeah, you're right. I remember that
Yeah.
now. So yeah,
just
Destiny's.
lots of amazing memories, amazing times. Even
Mhm.
solo, it's fun to play. Just everything about it. I mean,
It was-
of
it was
course,
one of
there's lots of negatives in both series, but
Does anyone pick God of War
Yeah.
over Destiny? Anyone?
Mm-mm.
yeah,
I
because
can't.
like God of War, I'll play through it once and I'm done. Destiny,
Yeah.
I will play and play and play and play, and I have hundreds of hours.
Yes, I agree with Jared on that. I mean, God of War is like opening up an amazing book or watching an amazing movie, but you can't watch it again. Destiny, story's good. It's good story, but you just keep going on and on and on and on and on. So, Destiny over God of War.
There you go, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, your PlayStation first party franchise Fracas winner and greatest PlayStation franchise goes to Destiny. So PlayStation, good job on buying Bungie. Good
Yeah.
job. Way to go.
Can't wait to see what Bungie comes out with next.
Oh, well, it's been a pretty good, decent episode. Let's get some couch co-optionals going and get out of here. Jared, what do you got?
I've been watching One Punch Man season 2.
Nice.
I don't know where you can actually watch it, but I'm watching it on a Plex server.
Someone's Plex server.
Nice.
And I love One Punch Man. You should watch it on Netflix. It's an anime. It's really fun, really awesome, great battle scenes. Just watch it. But season 2 has been a lot of fun. I'd recommend it as well. I'm 6 episodes deep, 7 episodes.
Cool.
It's
Nick
a
to win.
really fun show.
What you got?
Botchamania.
Botchamania.
If you're a pro wrestling fan, you probably already know what I'm talking about, but it's basically it's almost like a blooper reel, but not, because it's stuff that actually made it to air where professional wrestling screws up.
Okay.
It's kind of funny, and also the fact that it's also very video game related, to where people it's almost like created this own little subculture where people will go to wrestling shows, throw up signs relating to video games, and Matthew, the guy that actually runs the whole Botchamania thing, will actually reference it or show it off and stuff like that. Like you could
Okay.
see a sign that says Legend of Zelda is better than Elden Ring, and he'll show it off.
You mean Elden Ring is better than Legend of Zelda?
I don't make the signs, and these are just I'm just trying to throw out an example.
Right.
Don't be mad at a hypothetical.
All right.
I
I was just correcting a hypothetical.
Hey, whatever. If you want, you can go run into the crowd and you can start your own match with them.
Dave, what you got?
But-
Anyway.
Oh, I watched Dungeons and Dragons and I quite enjoyed it.
Ooh.
Good movie, right?
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
it was pretty
It's
fun. It had that right balance between it took itself seriously enough that it wasn't,
Seriously
it wasn't
fun.
silly, but it wasn't so serious that it wasn't fun, kind of.
And then it altered things enough to make them funny or
Yeah.
Okay.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's like it takes that Guardians of the Galaxy formula and put it in a different like franchise. Like someone like, oh, we should take what works for this and let's put it over here.
All
Yeah,
right, I'm
so-
down.
It was pretty good. I can't remember what service I watched it on. I think it was Paramount Plus.
Yeah,
was
it's on
it?
Paramount.
Or-
It's on Paramount Plus right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm?
I'll get behind it.
Yeah, get behind it. What you got, Aaron?
All right. All right. Well, I I'm just about finished with it. Miss Marvel on Disney Plus. People give that series so much crap because it's considered too teeny boppy. Although I will admit,
They could be
if I
sexist or
had
racist.
that too, that could be that as well. But people were just giving it so much crap for that whole thing. But I'm just like, the only thing I would have issue with it is if I had epilepsy, I couldn't watch it because there's just so much flashy going on throughout the entire series. But I enjoyed the crap out of this show. It's so good. I mean, I just barely finished up episode 5, and I love it. I can't wait to finish it. And if they ever decide to come out the season 2, which I'm pretty sure they're not gonna for a while, but
Yeah, because
I'm
the
down.
movie's next.
Yep. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. It's what, Cat's Marvel or
No, the
Marvel?
Marvels.
I don't. The Marvels. Yes.
Or just Marvels, I think. Actually.
Yes. I'm.
So I should
That's
give it
fine.
a shot then. I mean, I started it, but then I just nothing against the show. I just kind of got Marvel fatigue.
He was also sexist and racist.
Yeah, and that too. I was also sexist.
But no, I get the Marvel fatigue. I mean, you can only take in so much Marvel dick. I mean, don't get me wrong, it had some good stuff, like, but there's so much just like, okay, I can't. I gotta take a break. I gotta watch other shit. I can only do so much patty cake with Marvel series. Anything. I get it.
John, what you got?
I watched the extended version of Hateful Eight, and
I'm sorry.
I think it's great. I think it's cool that they split into 1 hour episodes, and they do a good job of you're not missing anything when you come back. It's really the first kind of. I mean, I know a lot of his Quentin Tarantino's characters are you have anti-hero types, but they're still not very heroic. But I think he did a great job with Hateful Eight, just really putting it that there's really no good characters in that movie, or even someone that you think is bad turns out to be more heroic than you thought at first, or more honorable. So I think he does a great job of, because I've seen it. This is the second time I've watched it. I saw his theatrical release and then seeing the extended version, um, and I just appreciate how each character has their own serious faults, and while you may enjoy one character one moment, the next moment you're just like, oh, like that was gross for them to say or do. So I think he does a great
Okay.
job of
Well,
you keeping the audience on its toes of who's good and who's bad, but that could switch at any
okay.
second.
Yeah.
Cool. There you go. Quentin Tarantino's almost last film. Second to last?
Yeah,
Third
I think
to
he
last.
did.
Third to last.
Okay.
Because he has a Once Upon a
You
Time.
got to go, Aaron.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the little one's going off right now, so she likes to wake up this time. So.
But I was gonna recommend this really great porno you're gonna really want to watch, Aaron.
Oh man. I'll look it up
man.
later. The show notes.
It had
Yeah, it's
midgets,
called
Alright, guys.
Destiny
and
of the God of
Smurfs,
War
and elves, and like wizards, and dragons,
and orcs.
all kinds of cocks, and like
Right.
futa, and like tentacles. All right, go ahead.
Right.
You can take off. I get it.
It's
Fine.
an Ian
Alright.
fever dream.
No, it is a
I
fever
know, I
dream
know.
that I made into a film, and I was going to recommend it.
And it's sad you're gonna miss the cream storm.
Cream Storm.
Oh man, I know. Well, tell it to the little one. So.
All right, man. Well, you take
Okay.
care of her. Thanks for hanging out as long as
Yeah.
you did. You hung out for a long
Yeah.
time. Yeah, you
Yeah.
made
A
it.
whole
You-
episode.
whole
Look at
episode
that.
almost.
I know,
Look at
right?
that. Look at that.
I
Congrats.
know.
Catch you later, Aaron.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good seeing you guys.
Yeah.
I will talk to you guys
Yeah,
later.
we'll see you next week.
Good night, Aaron.
Next week.
Next
Night.
week.
Bye,
Yeah,
Aaron.
Peace
guys.
out.
Bye. See ya.
Mine is not, in fact, a porno.
What is it?
It's a documentary. Woo!
About porn?
Exciting! No. It's Senior, and it's directed by Robert Downey Jr., and then kind of co-opted by Robert Downey Sr. But the documentary is about Robert Downey Sr. It's on Netflix, and it's kind of about Robert Downey Sr. and because he's a filmmaker, but he's an experimental filmmaker, and it's really interesting. I found it very inspiring. I believe he also has he has Parkinson's. Anyway, because we were talking about Michael J. Fox earlier, but I just found it really interesting and super fun and engaging, and it has a tie-in. I don't know if you guys listen to the Smart List podcast, but if you listen to the Smart List podcast, there's kind of a tie-in there that's kind of fun, and it's in the film, and yeah, so that's Senior on Netflix, and yeah, super cool. All right, before we get out of here, Nick DeWin, what beer is going to go up against Waldo next week, or can you tease it?
I'm not going to tease it because I don't know yet.
He doesn't know, so that's a tease in
suggestion.
itself. Oh, a suggestion. Oh, we're gonna like send beers
I think
up.
Oh, does Dave have a suggestion?
Oh, we're
Yeah,
gonna...
hop venom seems like a good.
Hop venom up against Waldo.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well,
Let's see that. Is that a challenge you're willing to take up?
absolutely.
Anyway,
It's
challenge.
the
Challenge
90
accepted.
minute.
I mean, this would have been a more fun challenge to do maybe a year or two ago, but where it's harder to find. That's what I mean by that. But,
They don't need to be. Listen, if I've learned anything, hard to find beers are not as good as just regular old fucking beers.
No, and it actually is a giant pain in the ass just trying to like hunt down some of this stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
So
you
I don't
can't
know why I
find
was
it,
being
grab
I don't know why I was
something
being
else.
cunty like that, so I'm sorry.
Why are you
Dave.
being a cunty cunt?
Hop venom's available at Winco in 19-ounce cans. You can just
It's
I
choose
know.
one.
At all stores at this point is available
Yeah.
in those cans. Actually, it's now that
Actually-
Deschutes is canning it, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
Actually, probably the more fun competition would be if I could find a 120-minute IPA. I mean, I know Ian would hate it, but
That's a gross. That's not a beer. That's. I
Mhm.
mean, that beer can only go up against Steel Reserve.
maybe it will. Maybe I'll do that too.
Yeah, I doubt that. Anyway,
Yeah, Steel Reserve will be next.
let's get out of here. So Waldo was again the winner. Destiny was the winner of our franchise, our Sony first party franchise Fracas.
And there's a
so
bunch of Last of Us
drink,
fans drinking 90-minute IPA.
go
that-
download Destiny
Yeah.
2 and drink yourself a Waldo, and you'll have that's probably a good time. Actually, that's probably the best
Yeah.
advice we've ever given. Go play some Destiny 2 and drink a Waldo. You'll have a good fucking time. Anyway, I want to thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
Remind you to leave feedback at thecouchcoopshow@gmail.com. That's our email address. Let me say it one more time. thecouchcoopshow@gmail.com. I want to thank Jared.
No hyphens?
There's no hyphens. There's no nothing in that. I want to thank
Just
Jared,
a bunch of FUs.
Nick, Dave,
Mm.
Aaron, who was here just a moment ago, but he had to take off. He couldn't hold out for 5 more minutes.
When the kid calls, the kid calls.
Who cares? Let
Yeah.
them starve. They need to learn to cry. And John, I want to thank you guys for joining me here on the couch. For Couch
Always.
Co-op, I'm Ian. Reminding you to please be excellent to each other. Wild stallions.
And we can't do the outro because of rights reasons. Sorry. Ask me how I...
Couch Co-op.